Well, such a great day. Pittsburgh Steelers get the job done at the crib, avenging that loss from a couple weeks ago. Shout out, 27-14, advancing to 10-3 on the season. Yeah, baby, we love it. Felt good all around, man. Ton of positive things, man, in all three phases that we're gonna talk about. So, you know how we do, man. You know how we do. Gotta get to it, man. I'm hyped though. That was beautiful. I'm gonna cough a little bit too, all right? Browns pay hits a little harder, especially when that first one ain't hit like it was supposed to hit. You know what I'm saying? But let's get it. We absolutely love to see that one right there, man. But you already know how we do it, man. On the front end of this thing, man, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Drop it in the comment section where you're tuning in from, so that way I give you those big boy shout outs to start today's show. But yeah, needed that one, man. Let's get it. And I see your Z, man, in the 603. Durham, New Hampshire, baby. Salute to you, baby. Yes, sir. Steelers Girl 517. Shout out to Steelers Girl 517. Tuning in Lansing, Michigan, as always. Shout out to Lansing, Michigan. Yes, indeed. We got the Don Hefe Kwan in the 323, Watts, California. And then after that, Jim Jensen in the 701, North Dakota. Shout out to North Dakota, man. One time for the culture. Germ 824. And he says in the 540 VA. And he says, let's go Dukes. And we most definitely have next year. But more importantly, we got a bowl game. Was it 2 weeks from now, man? On the 18th, the Boca Raton Bowl versus Western Kentucky University, man. So definitely looking forward to that matchup. And the irony of it all, we just had Beanie Bishop on the show Thursday, right? Shout out to the Beanie Bishop interview. If you haven't checked that out, definitely tap in with that. But he's a Western Kentucky guy. So it was funny, man, to go from talking to him and then 2 days later it gets announced that we're going to be playing those guys for the bowl game this year, man. So super excited about it, man. But let's get it. Okay, what up, Reen Ramirez out in Tijuana, Mexico. Viva Mexico! Viva Mexico! Shout out to you, man. Dee Smalls always tapping in sunny Florida. I'm going to just tell you right now, Dee, it felt like Florida up here. Maybe like a winter Florida day. It was like 52 degrees and sunny. I had the roof open when I was pulling up to the stadium. I was like, you know what? It ain't half bad in the sun. So I felt real Florida-y today. I'm just throwing it out there. I just letting you know. Okay. I see what is Jaquay Williams in the 513. Right? Oh, I see what you got going on. Okay. Hey, what's the score? I could have sworn Bills just scored, man. But hey, I ain't on that today. All right. Y'all see what it is. You see what it is. All right. We in here trying to distract me. All right. We celebrating a great victory today, man. Great victory today. And I see you, Sosa T, in the 918 Oklahoma. Let's get it. Alrighty. And shout out to Leah Warren. I see you already starting the petty trade, and I love it. She says, yo, Russ must have been praying harder this week. Yeah. You know, deliver us from these pick sixes, deliver us from these turnovers. And hey, man, shout out to Russ. The Lord delivered Russ. Winston did get delivered. They weren't pick sixes, so in a way, they were answered. But as they say, the Lord works in mysterious ways. So there you go right there. All right. Shout out though, man. But from my perspective, man, we're talking about this 27-14 win, all three phases. I thought offensively, a little bit sluggish of a start, and mainly due to the lack of George Pickens. We obviously knew, or we didn't get a chance to talk about it on the show, but he had pulled up in practice on Friday, and this was a part of the discussion of why he would be up in the air come Sunday. He went out there and tested it out before the game, and unfortunately, man, they all just didn't agree that, it made the best sense for him to be out there. So with that being the case, man, we ultimately went in there shorthanded. You see, Mike Williams was more targeted and a lot more active on offense. Scotty Miller, right? He's usually been inactive. He was active. Had some nice production from him as well. We saw Ben Skronik, man, continue to have an expanded role. Van Jefferson, Calvin Austin, right? So that was, kind of that first quarter. I was trying to just figure out which one of those guys were going to get in sync with Russ and how fast it was going to take. First half, and we threw a couple up to Mike Williams, or it was I want to say targeted Mike, Calvin, and maybe it was Scotty Miller in the first quarter. And it wasn't the big play varieties, right? I think Mike had the one catch, but it was nothing crazy. So from there, I mean, we couldn't really sustain enough from just a offensive standpoint to get a rhythm to put that Browns defense in a little bit more pressure. But from there, though, I thought that we were able to kind of lean on that running game, right? Najee and Jalen Warren, Cordell Patterson and company. I thought early on they kind of helped us stay afloat. And then from there, Russ hits a couple of passes in that second quarter. That's when things went crazy. That second and third quarter for us, man, were big time. We obviously had the interception from Keanu Benton. That took place in the second, right? Shout out to the big boy, man. Then after that, though, Najee gets that touchdown. Boom. Now we're starting to get that rhythm flowing for us, right? Then from there, Jalen Warren had a couple of those explosive plays also take place in the second quarter in terms of his running the football and some of his catching out the backfield. So then from there, it was just like, all right, we go in. I want to say we scored, 10 points in that second quarter. Third quarter hits, we come back-to-back touchdown drives. 24 points in 2 quarters. 24 zip was the span that we did them in that second and third quarter. And that's when it got gory for them realistically. We really were able to spread this game out, man, from just a point standpoint. But that's what you see, obviously, in the third quarter. The explosive plays that we have. We had the 21-yard pass play to Moats. Shout out to Moats. Then after that, you had the 14-yard pass play to Jalen Warren, right? Technically 1 yard shy of the explosive pass play parameters, but it's a 14-yard pass play to the running back. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about it. Then from there in the third quarter, you also had the 10-yard touchdown pass to Van Jefferson. It was good to see him get back into the end zone. After that, you had the 22-yard catch by Mike Williams. It was good to see Mike out there, man, getting more targets, being a lot more productive. We needed that, man, big time by him. And then from there, we also had some more Booth production, man. Had the 20-yard touchdown pass. It was good to see that happen in the third quarter. And just in that quarter alone, I think they said my man Russ was like 6 of 8 for like 90 yards and 2 tutties. He went off in that third quarter. That's really, like I said, what blew the game open from our perspective. And then we had another big time explosive just to put icing on the cake, the 21-yarder to Scotty Miller that also took place in the fourth quarter. Now, it wasn't all perfect. We obviously know that, man, in the sense of, before we get to any of the negatives, I would also say offensive line, man. Got to talk about those guys, man. Dan Moore, right? We said last game when we played against the Cleveland Browns, Dan Moore, the Myles Garrett matchup, Myles pretty much took over the game. I think they showed the stat during the game, the image, said he had 3 sacks, 8 QB hits in that game. And as I look, I know he had 1 sack. I just want to make sure I got the right amount of QB hits from my man Myles. So yeah, Myles had 1 sack, 3 QB hits. Yeah, the tackle for loss was obviously on the sack play, man. When I think of that, shout out to Dan Moore, shout out to Arthur Smith, and shout out to Russell Wilson, man. All 3 of those guys, make that happen by the play call and understanding schematically when to take the shots downfield, when to put Dan Moore in potentially one-on-one situations, when to leave Myles Garrett unblocked and call misdirection plays at him to ultimately use his momentum against him. Because yes, he's a great athlete, but his athleticism is different than a TJ Watt's athleticism. The same way TJ is a different athlete than Patrick Queen. Like, you can manipulate and use certain things that those guys do well against themselves. And that was what we kind of did versus Myles Garrett. And like I said, from there, Dan Moore did his job. You would see some chips. You would see the group effort, man, tight ends, running backs. Everybody did what they were supposed to ultimately keep Myles at bay. And outside of that, fourth quarter with like 3 minutes left in the game, he went Super Saiyan mode and obviously beat the 2 defenders or the 2 blockers to get the sack. But other than that, we pretty much kept him quiet. And that was really impressive, man. Especially when we think about how that Thursday night game went, man, where it was definitely the opposite of that, man. So, like I said, it was definitely good to see that. Then from there, though, now we're talking about from a defensive side of the ball, man. I thought that Cam Hayward was big time, man. When you talk about just his ability to win in the trenches, man, win his one-on-one, create pressure, multiple sacks, 2 sacks in the game, man, was definitely good to see him play like that. But then also, man, even though it didn't reflect in the stat sheet for Alex Highsmith, I thought that he was cooking. Man, my dude was over there win, pressure. Even to the point where he was a little overzealous. Obviously had a little was it the rough of the passer, and it was okay. It was all right. My dog was fired up. I ain't tripping on it, but it was good to see him back out there, man. I thought that for Highsmith, man, he felt healthy. He looked healthy. And when he's healthy, kind of like Jalen Warren, when those guys are healthy, man, they can play with anybody out there, man. They look the part and they are ultra productive, as good as advertised, man. It was, like I said, really good to see that from Alex Highsmith, man. TJ still was providing pressure as well, man. Had the big time TFL to start the game off. I still do not understand why teams in 2024 try to block TJ Watt by not blocking TJ Watt. I don't care who you have at running back. There isn't a call that makes sense where I'm running the football, TJ's the backside defender, and I'm not going to block him, send somebody over him to mess with him. Y'all just left him. Like, to me, idiotic, man. But shout out to them dudes, man, and shout out to TJ. Continue to do what he does, man. Take full advantage of that just malpractice from an offensive coordinator standpoint, man. You got to block TJ Watt. His eyes are too good. The way that he film studies, you're not going to trick him into, oh, he's going to chase after the quarterback. No, man, he reads his keys. That offensive lineman is telling him the answers every single time, man. And he's too athletic for you not to block this guy. All right, so shout out to the homie TJ Watt. But like I said, good to see that from him, man. Good. Like I said, it was definitely good to see that, man. But that's Landon Roberts, man. That's the physicality that he plays with and brings. And yeah, we definitely missed that, man. Oh, they said, oh, all right, it's back now. We back. We silent. Yeah, I don't know what that was. Yeah. Shit, we should be back now, 900 Juice. Yeah, I don't know what that was. Yeah, it was like everything in the casa just froze up for a second. Shout out. See, what was happening? James got upset. He was like, God, you just looked me from the pick sixes, but we still lost. And he was getting mad, so I think they was having a little convo, and that's why I just... So, we back. I don't want no problems, all right? I want no problems. Oh, shout out to Mike Hood. Mike Hood said that YouTube was having issues this morning at church as well. All right, shout out. See, it's good info to know, man. I just be over here vibing, man. I'm innocent, man. I ain't do nothing wrong. Y'all say, yo, get dick, man. I ain't do it. I ain't push no wrong buttons, all right? I got the setup how it's supposed to be set up, at least for now. Then in about a couple weeks when we at the new spot. We'll see how that technology works over there, all right? But let's get it, man. But back to the defense, though. Turn to the linebackers, man. Not only, like I said, did Landon Roberts have that big time TFL on Nick Chubb, man, to force the turnover on downs. That was in the third quarter, I want to say. He also had the big time, he was coming downhill, running play outside, man, and the offensive lineman is pulling. Yo, he hit this offensive lineman. My man flies. I'm like, yep. He robs on one today. He on that stuff today, man. So I guess I was definitely loving that, man. And then Patrick Queen, man. I thought they had a big PPU on Njoku in the fourth quarter. We loved that. Peyton Wilson continues with his production as well with the TFL in the fourth quarter. Loving what we're seeing from the young guy right there, man. And just as a whole, I thought our secondary played really well. We know what Jameis is capable of. We know how explosive he can be offensively. We know what he does from a passing standpoint and just the yardage that he can account for. But that wasn't the case today, man. We ultimately kept him under control and were able to force him into 2 big-time turnovers. And to me, I thought that we also provided a lot of pressure, and he made some plays. He did a really good job at times of extending the play, climbing up in the pocket, and then kind of throwing it over defenders and scoring and just getting production like that. But as a whole, I thought that we did what we were supposed to do, man, at all 3 levels of our defense. Deshaun Elliott, dude was a baller today. Holy smokes. Not only did he have obviously the red zone PBU in the second quarter against Njoku, the way he was hitting these cats out here, his physicality, man, like he has been one of our best players on defense this whole season, man. I think with him, obviously we know what Minka does. That takes a lot of that pressure off of Deshaun Elliott because Minka is Superman. He gets to do all that. But the way Deshaun handles that role of being the physical guy, playing in the box, the one-on-one tackles that he has, man, and he's a constant knockback tackler as well. You don't see him, falling back this way. No. He's usually finishing, and it's like, yo, he's knocking the ball carrier backwards, man. Like, I love that about Deshaun Elliott, man. And he plays fast. He's a super smart player, though, man. But really refreshing having Deshaun Elliott on this defense, man. I thought that he did his thing today, man. James Pierre, like I said, obviously at the pick on the overthrow, man. We love to see that. And for the majority of the game, I thought it was a pretty quiet JPJ game in the sense of not penalized, not, flag on this, flag on that. I think he had the one, the unnecessary roughness penalty on him in the third quarter, and that was just him retaliating, right? Always catch the second guy every single time, man. But as a whole, man, I thought that he did his job, man. He had a nice tackle too late in the game, man, to force a fourth down as well, man. So, like I said, man, like what I saw from us offensively, defensively, special teams wise. Corliss Wait, man, shout out to the homie, man. Multiple 50+ yard punts. And Bosman obviously having another clean day, hitting a 54-yarder as well. Ben Skronik, right? Getting that fumble or picking up the muff fumble, man, big time. Ultimately icing the game, completely deading it. It's over, finito. So yeah, we like those type of things right there, man. But like I said, for me, that was kind of my big takeaway, man. When I'm thinking about this game, certain things that kind of stood out to me offensively, defensively. I thought that just as a whole, offensively, with Russ, we're always able to explode, man. That deep ball, his ability to just make the right decisions. You're always feeling good about it, man. And that's the one part that, like I said, even as sluggish as that first quarter went, and even on the broadcast, I heard him trying to boo a little bit. I'm like, yo, don't start that. Y'all chill out. Don't start that. It was like, man, was he gets rolling? He had everybody in that stadium going crazy, man. We seen J.J. Watt going crazy. We seen Sierra going crazy. We seen Joe Malinage going. I butchered the last name. That's all right. Him going crazy. Everybody was going crazy out that thing. It was beautiful. That's what we love to see, man. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go, Steelers, man. But yeah, man, like I said, shout out to Russ, man. Big time having him a part of this thing, and it's only going to continue to get better as long as those guys stay healthy. His rapport with Arthur Smith is only going to get better. This offensive line, the way that they're continuing to grow, they're only going to get better. And remember, this was without George Pickens and not a full week of preparation without George Pickens. This is we're thinking you're going to be our guy this weekend, George Pickens, and the day of, hey, you can't go. All right. Now let's figure this thing out. Shout out to the sudden change, man. And once again, shout out to Arthur Smith. Hey, he said, all right, you had me in week 1 in Atlanta thinking I'm going to have Russ and I don't get Russ. I got to go Phils. Cool. Make it work. Figure it out. Then you turn around, couple weeks, 14 weeks? All right, cool. Same scenario, but now we got at the quarterback spot. I'm thinking I'm going to get GP. No GP. All right, cool. We'll figure it out, man. I like what we got right now, man. I'm loving what I'm seeing from this team, man, coaching staff-wise and player-wise. So let's keep this thing rolling, man. Let's keep it rolling. But Browns pack, man. I told y'all, man. That Browns pack, it hit nice today. It hit real nice. But y'all hit that like button one time for the culture. And, of course, don't forget to subscribe either if you are new to the channel and are enjoying yourselves, man. This is, like I said, what we do after a big old victory. We come in here and talk for a little bit, kick back, throw that Browns pack in the air. Oh, boy. It was super. It felt more sativa than indica today, though. I'm just throwing it out there. Shout out to that Browns pack, though. Shout out to the Browns pack. But I'm liking it, though. Alrighty. Got the homie Hassan T, 1989. He says, sorry, Jameis. God is a yinzer. And this is also true. I mean, anybody that's been down to the stadium throughout the past 10 years has all seen Steelers Jesus, right? You see Steelers Jesus and you see Steelers Pope, all right? They usually are hand in hand. Yeah. He's usually a little bit more turning wine into wine and more wine than the water park. But either way, you see him down there at the games, man. All right. So shout out, man. Most definitely is a Yenzer. Shout out to the homie Mike Hood as well. He says, love the dub. Hate the conservative plan with lead. So once again, you have to pick and choose what type of team do you want to be. Do you want to be a team that's just overly aggressive for the sake of being overly aggressive? Or do you want to be a team that is thoughtfully aggressive, that isn't going to just be reckless at times, all for the sake of being reckless? And that's offensively and defensively. When you are up 3 scores in the National Football League, we do not care about style points. We care about winning games. And this is a proven formula. You will trade yardage for time when you are up 3 scores. And that's what the Pittsburgh Steelers decided to do from a defensive standpoint. And then offensively, why am I going to keep trying to put the ball in the air? I want to keep this clock rolling so that way it continues to create more pressure on the opponents, man. So like I said, man, we can call it conservative and use it as a negative connotation, or we can call it very thoughtful and smart. And we can look at the fact that we won 27-14. That's how I look at it, man. Because like I said, the more times you try to be aggressive, whether it is from a defensive standpoint, calling more pressures, blitzes, right? You open yourself up for the potential explosive pass play. And then from from an offensive standpoint, the more you take those chances in terms of wanting to drop back and, oh, let me go down the grass, let me get him. All right, strip sack or interception, and that was weird. Now the game is awkward. So just in that sense, man, I don't look at it as a conservative game plan. I thought that, or a conservative plan once we had the lead. I thought we were just smart with understanding, this isn't college football. We don't have to impress any voters. We just got to win. And we got to win in the most efficient and effective way. And that was what we did today, man. So like I said, I could definitely understand maybe why you might feel like that. But yeah, for my perspective, man, I thought it was very smart with the approach, especially once the game got to, I think it was 27-7 at one point. Yeah. Heck yeah, man. All right. Sequoia Harris. Shout out to Sequoia. He says, OG thought it was a drought. God is good. And I don't know what else he says after that. But shout out to the homie Sequoia. And yes, man, dude, this is what we do, man. That's what we do. Oh, man, I knew the guys were going to take care of business. Y'all thought they were going to take care of business? I didn't think it was going to take. It was a Tomlin win. You know how the Tomlin wins go. This is what we do. All right. Tomlin wins are the best type of wins. Because they just keep going and going and going and going and going. I mean, just saying, man. It was physical, right? We created turnovers. We had some splash plays in there. Yeah, heck yeah. I don't think he officially challenged the play, but he even won a challenge low key, or maybe Stefanski just lost the challenge, but you kept from saying either way. It was a vibe. I'm like, yo, I like what I'm seeing right here, man. This is what we need. Shout out to Coach T, man. Shout out to that man. But yeah, it was really loud. It was really loud at one point for, the people that weren't fans of Coach Tomlin. Whether we're talking about the offseason, whether we're talking about the end of last season, at various points, man. But this is why you stick with this guy. This is why you believe in this guy. This is why you trust Coach Tomlin, because he gonna get it right. And that's ultimately what he's proven, man. You get him a quarterback and boom, watch him cook. You get him an even better quarterback. You get him a Russ type of quarterback, man. Watch what this dude is capable of. We're as good as anybody in this league right now, man. If we play how we play, we're as good as anybody in this league. Now, that's the beautiful part about the NFL. You got to keep doing it each and every week. And that's the part that makes it challenging. You don't get, the do-over. It's not a series once you get into the postseason like it is in basketball. It's one and done. So you got to play your best game every single time, right when it matters the absolute most. You don't get to start slow and stuff like that. But that's the postseason, man. We building up to it. We got a couple more weeks left. But right now, man, we are tough because we can beat you in a multitude of ways. We can pass the football. We're explosive through the air, but we also are very physical. We run the football, and that is our identity. That is priority number one for us. And then defensively, we got one of the best defenses in the world. Our ability to rush the passer, our ability to create pressure without having to blitz, our ability to create turnovers, whether we're talking linebackers, corners, safeties. Yeah, and then we got the best kicker in the world as well. And our punter is playing lights out. I mean, just across the board, this is when you're talking about, complete teams. When you're saying, well, Where's their weaknesses at? And we're like, all right, our offensive line. But even with those guys, let's not act like those guys haven't been playing extremely well also lately. So once again, here we are. It's like, why should we feel like we're not capable? You're going to tell me about some history that I don't care about? What are we talking about? Oh, Russ has done it. What that guy doing right now? Because the way he's playing right now, why can't he? The way that these running backs, these receivers are playing right now, why can't we do it? This defense, why can't we, man? Come on now. I like it, baby. I like it. Let's see who else we got in the building. Shout out to the homie Mike Hood. He says, shout out to Keanu Benton. The pick was fire. Shout out. He says, and he says, shout out to Mr. Moats and the chat fam. Prayers for Steelers Girl 517. No, seriously, yes indeed, man. They said definitely praying for you, man. He said, I know you reached out and everything like that, man. I ain't put it out, nothing like that, but yeah, definitely thinking of you though. 100%. But yo, that Keanu Benton interception was nice. And it was a good job by him. We've seen Keanu Benton on multiple occasions this season where he's reading plays, where they're screen plays, toss plays running into that. We call that alley, right? Between the hash and the numbers. We call that the alley. And you could just see them trying to hit plays in there. And a couple of times where Keanu Benton has ultimately been able to make a play in that situation, right? Or come close to making a play where there was a big time hit and we're like, yo, we almost got the punch out. But this time right here, man, he just reads, goes over there, and now, whoop, what? Oh, ball, interception. Loved it. And it was good to see his run after as well. I like the big man to get some yak. Let my big man get a little yak, all right? Shout out to Keanu Benton, though, man. Shout out. And yes, Stan Clear, Keanu, he's been balling, man. He's been balling. Man, what's this chat? Y'all got a lot going on in the chat. I ain't over there just yet, man. I'm seeing all type of just shout out to y'all. Hit that like button, man, if y'all vibing out with us today, all right? Don't forget to subscribe either if you are new to the channel. Jeez Louise, man. I'm seeing a whole bunch of Josh sucks. Why y'all? It's a whole bunch of Bills stuff, man. We supposed to be focusing on the Steelers game, man. What y'all doing in here, all right? Jeez Louise. Tom J, give me the thumbs down with the bell. Like, what, bro? Who's Feeder, tell him. Say, love this channel. Love the Steelers. Me too. Michael G, Kings of the North. Yeah, heck yeah. Not the Don Hefe Quan talking about some dang the Bills. What's going on over there? Who they playing right now? Hey, lifted ones. We all focused on that one seat. I'm with you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Stoogie McCloud. I can multitask most. No, man. I don't know what you're talking about, man. I don't know which one's testing on. Which one's testing on, man? What could y'all possibly be watching? That's what I'm trying to figure out, man. Tom Jade, I'm the biggest Josh Allen hater. Y'all are funny. The Don Hefe Quan says, nice with it. No, shout out to you, man. I appreciate you on that, man. I had to go down to the stadium, man. Did my interview today. We were talking with Mike Logan. Shout out to Mike Logan, Super Bowl 40 champ. McKee's Port product as well, man. So it was definitely good to see him. But I wanted to throw, something a little fly, a little different, but not too hot either, because I didn't want to be sweating on it. It was a little warm out here today, man. 52 on the bird, man. It felt nice. So that's why I threw this one on, man. But shout out, man. I appreciate you shouting my fit out, man. All right, appreciate you. Let's get it. And all right, I see another super just came in from the homie Tons of Fun. Shout out to Tons of Fun as well, man. Definitely appreciate you from the heart, man, rocking out with me today. He says, big man interception from Benton. And Deshaun Elliott making plays like always. This is Skronik's second punt recover as a gunner. Here we go. No, absolutely, man. When you're talking about what Ben Skronik has been able to do, we talked about early in the season, right? Preseason time frame. We said, man, we don't have that just true special teamer at wide receiver. We're naming all of our different guys. We got GP. All right. We got Van Jefferson. Bet. We got Calvin Austin. Word. It was like, yeah, we got Roman Wilson. It was like, all right, bet. All right, we got Scotty. Man, I'm like, all right. We ain't really naming no gunners, man. We ain't really naming nobody that can get down there and force punts, man, or force fair catches, make tackles on special teams, and create turnovers, splash plays. We said the Miles Boykins types, the Darius Hayward Bay types. We're like, man, we need one of those guys low key. So for us to go out there and make sure Ben Stronach was ready to do what he was doing, and this guy been able to not just produce from special teams where, like you said, man, he has had the 2 fumble recoveries or muffed punts, but this dude is also giving us production on offense, whether you're talking some of the catches he's had, but also his blocking. You look at some of these runs that we're having, some of these explosive runs with Najee or with Jaylen Warren, and a lot of that, you look at those receivers blocking on the perimeter. I know today, Skronik and Scotty Miller had a couple of nice blocks, man, on the outside, the tight ends included, but those wide receivers, man, they got to make those blocks in order for those running backs to get to the second level and now have space for it to be one-on-one with the safety. And that's, like I said, a true testament to those type of guys, man. So, yeah, shout out to Ben Skronik, man. Deshaun Elliott, yo, that's like my favorite dude right now, man. Not only is he killing it with the fashion, you watch the man when he show up to the games. I'm like, bro, you look like you fresh off the runway. Like, you're killing it. All right, you're killing it, man. We ain't ready for that yet. Just keep doing your thing, though. But you watch how physical this dude is. Like, yo, he is running through you. Like, he's not just trying to tackle, he's trying to run through you. And then when you watch him, whether it's in pass, where he's in coverage, it's like, man, his smarts and his timing, understanding when to shoot his hand to try to get PBUs. But then you also see where he's physical as well, can match it with tight ends, can match it with some of these slot guys. I think he's doing a great job this season. Obviously, we know Njoku had the great touchdown catch against him. And shout out to Njoku. Njoku, man, that's one of them dudes, man. He's like a dope player, but at the same time, he is like super inconsistent at times with his drops. And just like you watch him and it's like, yeah, you don't think he's can all the way kill you in a game, but he can. And I don't know why, but these past 2 games versus us, like he been a little bit more consistent than not consistent. But I thought as a whole, man, outside of that one play, yeah, Deshaun did his thing, man. I used to shout out. Oh, hey now, tons of fun. Shout out to you. You know I appreciate you. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. For the super chat. He says, not saying the defense did bad, but they've been showing a pattern of slow start on defense and get gashed. I think we always wonder how much Tomlin runs the defense or if Austin has full reins. I mean, we already have the answers to that. We just don't always want to believe it, and that's fine. And that's the natural part for us as humans, right? If we don't understand it, we are trying to figure out who can we point to, man. Who is it? What's going on? But yeah, for the past 2 seasons, it's been Terrell Austin. It's him calling defense, man. Nothing just changed with that. In terms of overall game planning and preparation, yeah, Coach Tomlin is heavily involved in that. But in terms of actual game day calling, yeah, TA is the guy. And in terms of what we call slow starts, we're gonna, put that or paint that however we want to paint it. We feel like if it's our team, nobody should be able to do anything good against us. And if it's us on offense, we shouldn't ever be able to be stopped, right? It's not how it works, though, man. You tell me what play Jameis was making in the first quarter that was a bad play by us and not a great play by him. Even the touchdown that he threw to Judy. Oh man, I heard my man on the broadcast. He's like, yo, yeah, the safeties, man, he's too far over here. He's got to slide back over. Man, that safety is playing a too high shell and is late in the down. You see Jameis climbing up the pocket. It's like, yeah, the guy technically is doing his job. Now, could he do more? Yes. But that's after the fact on an extension of a play where you're saying, man, that ball should have been out or this guy should have been sacked. Not he has the time to drop back, climb up. Now all my linebackers no longer sitting back because they're worried about is Jameis going to run or not. That's called Jameis making a play. We can't knock our defense for a guy making a play. It's the National Football League. That's why Jameis was drafted where he was drafted. He's had the career that he's had, man, and had the success that he's had. He knows how to play at this level, man. His problem is decision making, and his problem is ultimately he's too aggressive. We talk about being thoughtfully aggressive. He's just dialed a little bit too much that way, and that's why you see the turnovers that happen with him. But the talent is there, and that's why he's been able to play as long as he's played and has had the success that he's had at this level. So I don't look at that and say, man, slow start by the defense. What are you guys doing? I say, yo, that dude came out. He was fired up. He was hot. Now let's see what happens when he comes down to earth a little bit. And that's when the second quarter hit. You tell me what he did in the second quarter. You tell me what he did in the third quarter. Tell me what he did in the fourth quarter. And then we can, really talk about being critical of the defense. But if we're going to, go crazy about what they did in the first, let's make sure we also get super loud about what they did in the second, third, and fourth quarter as well, because otherwise we're just trying to spotlight something that really had no inkling on the outcome of the game when we're just talking about as an overall performance, right? Because they got 3 whole quarters of kicking butt and taking names, man. 3 whole quarters of that thing, baby. All right. But I like it. I like it. But yeah, man. Like I said, man, for me, I don't feel like when a team, like, I look at certain games and I'll see where there are more issues on the defense side of the ball. I think that Colts game, that's the one to me that I'm like, yo, that was more on us than them doing anything spectacular. I was like, yeah, I felt like we were a little bit late with our reads. I thought that we had too many missed communication errors taking place in the secondary early in the game. I thought more of that. This, I didn't feel like that, man. I just thought that for the Browns, Jameis was the difference. He was making some plays in the first half. He looked legit in the first half or first quarter. Then after that, he started to play like Jameis. That's Jameis, though, man. That is Jameis, baby. All right. Shout out to Tons of Fun. He says, I said it in the beginning that Elliott was going to be the best strong safety we've had for a long time. You ain't lying. You are not lying. Sean Elliott, man. Dude has been a breath of fresh air. Let me just officially get his numbers. I knew he had led the team in tackles. My man ended up with 13 total tackles on the day, 9 solo, and he had the PBU or pass deflection. Like I said, was that in Njoku's second quarter, I want to say it was, when that PBU was. So yeah, so like I said, man, definitely love what I'm seeing there, man, in the sense of Deshaun Elliott just putting a lot of just peace on that back end, not having it being, okay, which type of guy is this? Is this more of a cover or is this more of a thumping safety? No, we got a guy that can do both. All right, is this guy capable, but he's a little bit undersized? No, he got great size. All right, does this guy have great size, but he doesn't have the ability to do some of these other things? Nah, Deshaun has shown that he is truly the total package right now, man. Whether you're talking, like I said, the coverage part or the run support part or the ability to create splash plays from a turnover perspective, just as a whole, this is one of those dudes that has been one of our best players on defense. Like, as crazy as it is, man, I don't think everybody appreciated the signing as much. And even me to an extent, like, I knew he was a good player, but didn't expect it to look like this season. Yeah, the dude's been doing his thing, man. Shout out to Deshaun Elliott, man. Big time contributor. And I see your Rod. Shout out to Rod as well for this super chat, man. Y'all hit that like button one time for the culture. And of course, don't forget to subscribe either if you're new to the channel. And y'all let me know in the comment section too, man. How we celebrating today, man? Are y'all on this Browns pack? Y'all watching any games, man? What games y'all watching? What y'all got going on, man? We going out to eat? Where y'all at? And what's for dinner too, man? Shoot. I'm about to say it's a victory, man. I was over here like, man, I might have to get me the big boy pepperoni pizza, meat lovers pizza, something, man. Shoot. It'd be like that sometimes, but I get a little hungry. But it's a victory. All right. And it's cheat day, so you do what you want. It's weekend. All right. But shout out though, man. Yeah. Okay. Mike Hood said he just had some pizza. Respect to that. Okay. Llama Walker says he's watching the Bills-Rams game. I respect on that. I like that. It's a dope game, man. It's a good little back and forth. Puka's had a big-time catch, too. Okay, Tom Jade on his tacos tonight. Okay. Shout out. Man, I done had tacos, 2 out of the last 3 days I done had tacos at some point? Yeah. And I ain't even tripping. I love me some tacos, man. I had regular Doritos tacos from Taco Bell yesterday. Day before that, I had shrimp tacos. And then wifey made tacos too. Like the other time too. Like I think it was Wednesday, maybe. Yeah, I've been tacoed out, man. Shout out. Stoogie McCall say he's sipping on some Casamigos. Watching Red Zone. No, salute to you on the Casamigos, man. Can never go wrong with Casa. I think I'm gonna be on my bougie tonight. I'm gonna do it like a desperate housewife, and I'm gonna be on my wine. Okay. So I'm gonna have me a little Cabernet. All right, have me a little bit of that. All right, but that's what I'm gonna be on today. Okay, because you already know I'm plant-based right now. Okay, so we feeling great. The surf and turf is gonna be absolutely elite. Lifted one says he's watching the Bills lose. Oh, this is great. Man, I'm happy for all of y'all, man. Hopefully y'all enjoy the game. All right, enjoy it. Because like I said, man, we're gonna have to see them at some point, maybe in the playoffs. All right, we know they're gonna be in that top 4. We don't know where, but they in there. All right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, Mike Could say drinking some cab right now. Hey, shout out to you, man. My dog. Just for a little bit. Let it breathe. And yes, there will be Taco Bell is food. That's like real Mexican food, man. It tastes it's real good, man. It's real good. Don't do them like that, all right? Oh, Brandon Clark got the Panda Express. Respect to the Panda Express. I likes that. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. All right, let me get back over here real quick. Let me get back. Studio call, yeah, authentic. I'm telling you, it is, man. It is. Taco Bell, man. Can't go wrong. Give me a little Diablo sauce on my thing, too, all right? Mm-hmm. Ro, I see you, Ro. Nice and healthy with it. Said I made vegetable soup with some cornbread. I like that. Yeah, I was feeling real like healthy slash bougie when I was eating during the game. I had me a little salad, had like shrimp in it. It was like really good. It was tasty. But that's why I was like, I'm gonna kill me a piece afterwards, though. All right, we're going completely just yeah. I'll work out tomorrow. It's pizza time today, baby. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But let me get back to these supers real quick, man. I do see a couple more pulling up. So shout out. Let's see, brother man to you. Shout out to brother man. Says Alex Highsmith return really helped today. No, 1,000%, man. When we talk about Alex Highsmith, man, that's one of my favorite guys ever since we drafted him. I think he's continually gotten better each and every season, not only from a physicality standpoint versus the run, but I love his evolution as a pass rusher. No longer just a speed guy. He has that spin move that we know is elite. And just his overall ability to consistently win one-on-ones and be the perfect complementary piece to TJ Watt. TJ likes to play on the left side of the defense where he gets to rush on those right tackles, and you need a guy that can stand up and beat left tackles routinely. That is what Alex Highsmith has brought to the table and has continued to do so whenever he's healthy. And it was, like I said, man, really good to just see him back out there. We know he's missed a couple of games. Herbig has really came onto the scene with his production, but at times, man, yeah, Highsmith got to pop out and remind you, hold on, bro, don't forget me. Don't do that. Definitely don't do that. So shout out to Highsmith, man. If you know, you know, man. Yeah, but he's one of those ones, man. When he's out there, man, our defense is just a lot better, a lot more complete because of who he is. He is not just a run-of-the-mill guy. He's not no routine starter. That's Alex Highsmith, man. Put some respect on his name. And it was good to see him back out there, man, doing what he's supposed to do, man. So shout out to the homie. Man. Justin Watson in the building as well. He says, giving my guys 42 and 15 some love. Talking about Pierre Island and Ben Skronik, man. Yeah, both of those dudes, man. Big time in terms of the production. Big time in just their overall fight. Being ready to hop on the, quote unquote moving train. Neither one of those guys were supposed to have big roles today when you're talking about just overall game flow. But man, Dante Jackson gets hurt. All right, we got to go to Pierre. Pierre, get in here, get you a pick. Why not? Pierre has shown, man, you can put him out there some late game scenarios, which he's been in on multiple occasions, and he's found ways to make plays because teams are going to try him. And until he makes enough plays, they're going to keep trying him. So it was good to see him be able to do that, man, late in the game. But also when you're talking about Ben Skronik, like I talked about earlier, not just his blocking, like that's the part that for me, I'm just like, yo, you got to see that part. But it's like he's also giving it to you as a gunner on special teams. He's finding ways to be productive, whether it's making tackles or, like you saw today, recovering muff punch, man. You can't recover the muff unless you down there super fast, man. And the dude be playing that gunner position at a very high level, man. So super impressed with both of those guys, man. Shout out to you, Justin, for shouting both of those guys out as well. And yes, McLean, God, dog, I be butchering it, man. You know I be doing it like that sometimes, but all right. But he's like, yo, Stroh's a real player. He's a football player, football guy, 100%, man. One of my favorite quotes from him, I believe it was 2 weeks ago. He said, man, I don't have the ability like George Pickens. So he said, for me, I want to be the best blocker at wide receiver in the National Football League. That's what I want to do. I'm like, yo, I love your energy. I love your mindset. If I can't do that, I'm going to be the best at this. And that's kind of that attitude we talk about professionally, man. We say, I don't want the guy that, talks about what he wants to do because, man, those are the dudes that can kind of feel entitled. Those are the guys that are going to pick and choose their overall just passion for it and their engagement with it. I want the guy that wants to, or not the guy that wants, I want the guy that gets to, right? And the difference is this, man, a want to guy's like, yo, if I don't want to do that, I'm not going to do it. The guy that gets to, man, the perspective is like, bro, I get to be out here today, man. I get this opportunity to go cover this kick. I don't care if I only play 2 snaps in this game, where I get to play 2 snaps, but they about to be the most fire 2 snaps ever. Not the guy that's like, yo, I want to play 80 snaps. I ain't dealing with your little 2 snaps, bro. I ain't going in for that. I want this. I don't want the 1-2s. Give me the guy that gets to, man. I get to do that. Heck yeah, bro. And that's Ben Stronach, man. You look at his attitude. You look at how he approaches the game. You look at how he approaches his overall role. Another guy like that is Van Jefferson to me. I think both of those dudes, when you're talking about just expectations or personally what certain guys have grown to career-wise, and it's like, yo, you come here, yeah, we're not throwing you the ball a whole bunch of times, right? We're not doing certain things that you might have assumed, but we don't hear no complaining from either one of them dudes. And when it's time to make plays and their number is called, when Russ puts that ball in either one of their vicinities, man, they're coming up with big time production, man. Like, that's this team right now. Calvin Austin's another one of those guys, man. It's like, yo, it don't always equate to production in the sense of catches and yardage, but even today he had a nice pass interference that he drew. We ended up scoring on that drive. It was following, I want to say, the Keanu Benton interception. But that's the type of dudes that you want, man. I get to do this, and that's what you need, man. That's one of the things that Coach Tomlin, when you talk about the type of guys that he tries to bring into that locker room, man, is guys that appreciate opportunities, not the guys that look at it and say, man, I want to do this. I deserve this. It's like, nah, man, we don't have time for that. You need them guys that are going to be eager for every opportunity and going to try to maximize it. And all of these, even Russ, you think about how Russ has talked about it since he's gotten here, right? You think about where Russ was just leaving in Denver. He didn't come here and say, man, demanded to be the starter. He didn't demand any of this stuff, man. Even when Justin Fields was out there having a ball in the first 6 games, he was not here demanding that man, you got to take none of that. But when he got the opportunity, it was like, yo, man, it's whatever. And I don't have to play 100% of the snaps. This is probably the first game in the past 2-3 weeks where Justin Fields hasn't had an appearance. But even with that, it's like, yo, I'm going to do what I do, man. I got this. I got us. And that's the mentality that we got to have as a squad, man. I'm loving this team's energy, though, right now, man. And that's why we are so tough. And y'all know Coach Tom, what he do in December. If you don't know, you should definitely check out the stats. My man, he wins. When it's December football, start chalking them up. Another one. Oh, you said another one. But another one. All right. Let's go, man. Here we go. Steelers, here we go, man. Don't forget to hit that like button one time for the culture and subscribe if you are new to the channel. And I see Michael G saying, can we say that number 1 seed? Well, shoot, man. We controlling it, or we technically don't control it, but we can get some action, man. We know we got the Chiefs gonna be coming up here ASAP. So hey, man, just keep doing what we're doing. Keep knocking them out when we get a time. And hey, we there. We in fighting range. That's the beautiful part. We are most definitely in fighting range. All right. Brother man to you. Shout out to brother man to you. He says Minkah is overdue for a good game or something. No, don't say good game, because he's had good games all season. What you are probably asking for, which a lot of Steelers Nation has kind of been loud about, is a turnover. But don't confuse good game with a singular turnover. Minkah still is having good games. Minkah had a good game today. Low-key, I was a little bit upset / I understood why Minkah did what he did. He had to play versus Jameis Winston. James is scrambling, runs up the left side, and he kind of lowers the shoulder on Minkah. And Minkah was kind of taking it easy on him, and he makes ends up getting the first down. And I'm like, yo, I get why Minkah didn't unload on this dude, because we just saw what happened to Al Shazier, and how everybody went crazy because he bombed on Trevor Lawrence after Trevor bursting for the 10-yard gain. You know what I mean? So I get it. But that was also one of the ones where I'm like, yo, hey, man, that's why them dudes get hit like that, because he didn't slide. He looked like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and drop it. I'm like, all right, that's the manipulating the rules a little bit. I wasn't a fan of that. But as a whole, man, Minkah did what he's supposed to do, man. Minkah makes plays, man. Minkah makes a ton of tackles. Minkah is doing what he's supposed to do from a coverage standpoint. So, like I said, don't confuse good game with I want a turnover. Just say you want a turnover, man. There is nothing wrong. I want Minkah to get another turnover as well. I promise I do. I put 2 hands up. I want to get a turnover. He can get a fumble recovery. It could be a tip pass. I don't care what it is, all right? Get one. But to say he's not playing well, I don't agree with that. I think Minka's been doing a heck of a job playing safety. Yeah. If Minka's last name was Casey, if Minka's last name was Edmonds, if Minka's last name was anybody else, y'all not saying any of this. But because Minka, we have an expectation with him, and I understand that 1,000%. But that does not mean he is not playing good. So, other than that, though, man, shout out to the homie, though, man. Shout out to the homie. All right. He says it's been a few years, and the game takes a toll on your body. But do you miss playing, or are you happy to be retired? Shout out to Foley also, man. Foley in the building, man, showing some love. Definitely appreciate you, man, from the heart. And no, I am 1,000% happily retired, man. I absolutely love it. I always say it was a little bit of an outlier in the sense of how my career ended. Most guys, you get injured and you're done, or you're getting kicked out of the league and you're done. For me, I kind of got to that space where I was kind of growing out of wanting to do it all the way, just in the sense of, man, missing out on stuff, man, starting to have that pull on my heart a little bit more, wanting to be home. And man, being out there, you fast forward to my last year in Pittsburgh when Shazier gets hurt. It's like, man, it really just made me not want to do anything that will put my body in risk or at risk for that type of stuff, man. So for me, man, no, I was very happy when I finally retired because I felt like it was like 3 years overdue from my personal mindset. And yeah, the way my body feels now, oh my gosh, I wake up and I'm like, oh, it doesn't feel terrible. Oh, now every once in a while, you still got your occasional, oh, all right, yeah, that's still gonna go numb here. Yeah, this gonna swell up a little bit here. All right. But other than that, though, I'm like, yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy where we at. And I get to do this way more. So shout out to us, man. All right. Shout out to you. And shout out to retired, man. All right. I'm a retired family man, house husband who drinks wine like a desperate housewife. All right. That's what I do. That's how I celebrate now. Let's see. Tons of fun. It says, though the offense was slow without GP, I still see the wide receiver room make plays. Do you think Russ needs more time to make a connection with the other wide receivers as in early games? Yes, but at the same time, I think today was a little bit different because we didn't have a full week of preparation with the mindset being that GP wasn't going to be available. So the game plan was still going to be designed to feature GP as the wide receiver. It was just, was it 2 hours before kickoff? That was when he was on the field working, and yeah, they ultimately decided that it made the most sense for him not to play. So from there, you're really not having a ton of time to revamp your game plan. You're not having a ton of time for Russell Wilson to build this rapport or trust some of these guys. It was just, yo, this is what it is. Scotty Miller, you're not supposed to dress. Guess what? You're dressing now. I'm glad you were prepared, being professional. And yeah, let's go make it work. So with that, along with the corners that they were facing, Greg Newsome and Denzel Ward, those are good players, man. Really good players. You've heard me compliment them a lot. So with that, now you're running into this scenario of how long does it take these new guys to get acclimated and up to speed of this isn't practice, you're playing against the big dogs. And for guys that typically want to be matched up against Denzel Ward and Greg Newsome, now you're matched up against those guys. So across the board, that's the ripple effect of no GP. So it took about a quarter for Arthur Smith, Russ, those receivers to kind of figure out the audible, the course of action to, okay, we're not going to beat these guys just running these routes. Okay, this isn't going to work just doing this. So how do we make it happen? All right, let's take this approach. All right, we're going to go to this. And on occasion, when I give you that opportunity, go make a play. That's the second and third quarter. But it's when you don't have the full week of preparation, no matter how great players play, no matter how many times you've seen a guy do something, at this level, repetition matters. All the greats will tell you, man, every play you've seen them make on Sunday, they've made 1,000 times in practice. They've already been doing it, drilling over and over. So the rhythm, the time, and the speed of it is all in sync. When you don't practice with these dudes because you're preparing for GP to be out there, and now game day happens and it's like, yo, these are the guys. Yeah, it's gonna make you be a little bit slower more times than not. Now, are there going to be some times where you're going to get an outlier scenario? Yeah. But more times than not, it typically looks like this. And this is why you say you love the fact that we have a veteran quarterback in Russ. Some quarterbacks, it takes 4 quarters, maybe even 2-3 games to build a rapport with wide receivers. You saw Russ, man, after that first quarter, it was like, all right, you got this. Third quarter hit, and it was pom, 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 pom. That's the veteran, the franchise caliber, the Super Bowl winning quarterback. That's what he brings to the table. And that's kind of how you offset each other. In a perfect world, yeah, man, you want everybody to, be able to slide in like it is on the video game. And if that guy's a 75, he's going to play like a 75 from the time it starts to the time it ends. And it's perfect because I got a great quarterback. But that ain't how it is in real life, man. Sometimes that 75 going to look like a 55. It's going to look like an 85. It's going to look like a 10. All right. But if you can keep it in this tight range of just stay 65, 75, 65, stay in that range is better. But yeah, they're humans, man. And that's part of why they are where they are career-wise as well. But I didn't think that it was one of those things where, yeah, man, we need to be a little bit more cognizant of their relationship or their dynamic. Nah, I don't think it's that, man. I just think that when unexpected stuff happens, you kind of got to figure out how to make it right in a, hurry versus the best in the world. Because the Browns, Jim Schwartz, man, them dudes know what they're doing. Defensive, that's a tough defense, man. But it doesn't matter. Find a way to win, man. And that's ultimately what we were able to do today, man. But yeah, so that's kind of, like I said, a long answer to that, man. But shout out to you, though, baby. Tons of fun in the building. Tons of fun today, too, man. Shout out to you, man. All right. Justin Watson says 39 is still great in the things fans don't see. And that's the thing, man. If everybody watched the game, had, played for the Pittsburgh Steelers or have played professionally and know exactly what Minkah does and why his role is what it is, and the overall, not just eyeball test of did you do your job in cover 3, but it's also the, when you influenced this because you stood 2 yards to the right, even though you still were only supposed to do this, but you did that because you knew it would make him look here pre-snap. All of that is what makes Minkah Minkah. That is hard to be seen, though, by the average viewer. Heck, half the time they don't even want to show it on camera from that sky camera angle, depending on if you're watching one of them other channels, right? But for the people that, are like me, that are just football junkies, right? Football nerds, we're the geeks of it. I want to know every exit. No, I want to know the schematic. I want to know the mindset. I want to know what you're trying to take away. What are you showing pre-snap? What's the post-snap? Why do you do what you do? For us like that, nah, we looking at Minkah like, oh, I see exactly what you're doing and the impact that it's having. I see all of that, but it's not allowed. That appeases us nerds. That doesn't appease the mob. The mob wants, give me that pick, give me that forced fumble, give me that touchdown. Like, you've been loud, and I get it. And that's kind of the whole, joke about the Pittsburgh Steelers when we say as a team, man, it's Super Bowl or bust. It's like, when you set it up and you win 6 Lombardis and you're dominant and all this other stuff, it's like, yeah, they don't want the little stuff no more. They tired of the little appetizer. They want filet mignon. They want the Wagyu. They want that tomahawk with the big boy bone out the back. Yeah. So you can't fault them for that. So if you make a man, it comes with the territory. You can't fault the fans for being loud about the lack of turnovers when you came on the scene and that was what you dominated with. Not just all these other things that I speak on. You had the splash turnovers as well. So trust me, baby, I get it. I definitely get it. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, we can both want those things, and both things can be true. We can appreciate all of this stuff that I'm talking about, but at the same time, we could all be over here saying, I would love him to have an interception. I would love him to have a splash play because we know what it's going to do for this defense. We know what it's going to do for this team. And more importantly, we know what it's going to do for him because once he gets rolling, usually really start rolling, man. So they said, man, we will see, man. But Minkah's one of those guys that right now, if you're on offense, the first thing you do when you're or top 2 things you're gonna do when you're coming into your game day plan or your game week plan when you're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers, where's TJ Watt at? Okay, where's Minkah? All right, now from there we're gonna create a plan. How we blocking this dude? How are we taking this guy out of it when we're trying to attack them vertically? That's the conversation. Then from there, it's like, all right, what about Cam Hayward? What about Highsmith? right? That's how that goes. But priorities number 1 or 2, depending on where the team is, who they are, is TJ Watt, Minka Fitzpatrick, man. Yeah, that's reality, man. So for him, he understands that, and yeah, it's the price of doing business, man. And when you get the contract that he has as well, yeah, you still got to give us turnover. So I get it. I definitely get it, but don't get it twisted. He is still playing at a high level. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. And shout out to Tons of Fun also, man. Yo, you just rocking out today, huh? Shout out to you, man. I appreciate you from the heart, man. Tons of Fun paying it forward, gifting 5 upper room memberships. Gifted one to Tidal Green, Diffin, Real Deal RC, and Juan G. And I think I'm trying to see who the 5th one. Don't see who that individual is just yet, but to all those individuals that I did name that the homie Tons of Fun did rock out with and hook up with upper room membership, welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Big vibes. Big vibes. Mm-hmm. 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 Oh, G Alexander in the building. Shout out to G Alexander. Wagwan, my youths. What's the word? What's the word? Team is starting to look special, and I would agree. I mean, think about it. The people that we panicked about at times or had super questions about at times have continued to play well, and I thought today played really well. The 2 people that stood out to me, Broderick Jones and Joey Porter Jr. Broderick, man, at times it's been so loud about, yo, is he good? Is it protection? Is it coaching? Is it effort? Is it whatever? Dude's been playing like a heck of a dude, right? Keeping it quiet over there, man. Keeping my man Russ clean and not having a ton of penalties. I love that. JPJ, we said he was highly penalized last week. What are we gonna do? Is he too handsy? Nah, we said we're gonna keep setting him up. He gonna keep man physical, and we're gonna make it work. Today, did his thing. Tackled well, covered well. I like what I saw. Just don't retaliate. And talking about the unnecessary roughness, the after the I think it was what 3rd quarter maybe, man, when the dude pushes him, so he pops him back. It's like, man, I know your daddy is, and it's Cleveland, so I get it. I do. But let's go, man. You gotta be a little smarter than that. All right. But to me, man, I'm just like, yeah, the way that, those 2 dudes, man, guys that, like I said, had some adversity at points in times this season, but still show up, still are consistent. That's what you want to see right there, baby. That is most definitely what you want to see. But I like it though, man. I like it. And man, let me find out, man. We've been here for a whole hour and 3 minutes, man. Let's get it. Let's get it. That's how you celebrate a victory. That's how you put that Browns pack in the in the air. Lord have mercy. Oh, it still hits so hard. Yeah, I guess I gotta go get back to that pack then real quick. All right. But with that being the case, man, that will conclude today's show. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. This here victory, baby. If you did, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe either, man, as we done moved to 10-3 on the season, man. Y'all stay safe out there. Enjoy whatever games y'all are watching. Y'all know me and the homie Deke back in the building tomorrow at 4 p.m., man. Don't miss that as we recap the game, man. So you know it's going to be a blast, man. Loving it, loving it, loving it. But with that being the case, shout out to y'all. And until next time, baby, peace.